Ladders that goes all the way from the surface down to the 1,000-foot level. So if there's ever a problem with a hoist breaking down or a power outage or something along that line, climb up into the line on those ladders. And if you're in good shape, it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to climb out of the mine on that 1,000 feet of ladder. So we don't want to do that today. And in the shaft here, we cut levels on the average about every 100 feet apart. So when you see these lights going by, those are the different levels. And that's where we mine back in there looking through the veins of gold. And this shaft here, it is timbered all the way down with big timbers like 6x6s and 8x8s and 10x10s. And then these cages, they ride down on guides. They're 4x6 open guides. They're on the north and south side of the cage, and they go all the way from the top to the bottom. And they keep the cage from spinning around. They guide it right down through here, just like an elevator. And in that manway side, there's also an airline over there. Most of the equipment down here operates on compressed air. And so there's two big compressors up on the surface. And that 4-inch airline, it brings that compressed air down here for 1,000 feet. And it serves all these different levels down here with compressed air. And this shaft here, it's just over 1,000 feet deep. It's 1,050 feet. That last 50 feet is called a sump, and that collects the water that drips down the shaft. When that sump fills up with water, we of course have to pump it out. But we want to stop right on the 1,000-foot level because we want no part of that sump, that water. It's cold and it's not too clean. And so we just hope the hoistman sober today. We're just about to hit, reach the bottom here. We're just about down here. And that timber out there, we call that square set timber where we put it in there kind of like a picture frame. But yeah, here we go.
All of these support beams are original?
A lot of them are. A lot of them. We have to replace them once in a while. A lot of them are. Yeah, as long as they stay wet, if they dry out, then they rot, and all that. I mean, it's no good. So.
Sure.
Watch yourself now. Just stand away from the shaft here. You did good. You did. Mom, you did good. All right. There we go.
You're back there.
I'll explain that bell system a little bit later on, but the two tunnels down here, they're called crosscuts and drifts. A crosscut is the main tunnel that goes from the shaft to the vein of gold. And then once you get on the vein of gold, while you're turning, you follow that vein wherever it goes. And that tunnel, it's called a drift. And so right now we're going to be going through the Gold King crosscut here. And we'll go on back to a little ways.
I'm going to go this way. Yeah. Gold.
And so this type of mining down here is referred to as hard rock mining and coal mining. As you notice, there's no timber in down here. It's very solid rock. It's Pikes Peak granite, so it takes a lot of drilling and blasting to get this rock out of here. And those old timers back in the 1890s, they did all that work by hand, if you can imagine. These are the holes that we put in the rock here to put our dynamite in to blast the rock out. And the old timers, they had to drill those holes with sledgehammers and hand steel. And so this small sledgehammer, this is what we call a single jack. And then this is your drill steel here, sometimes called a bull steel. And you put that up against the rock, and every time you hit it with that single jack, well, you turn it, and that kind of helps fill the hole out more evenly. And this is when you're working alone, use those tools. If you had a partner, they got to know what they call the double jacking method. And you can see the guy sitting down on his haunches there. He has a piece of drill steel up on his shoulder. And then the guy behind him has the big sledgehammer. And every time he hits that piece of drill steel with that double jack, or the guy rotates it, and like I said, it helps to drill the hole out more evenly. And needless to say, the guy with the sledgehammer has to have very good aim, because if he clocks his partner in the back of the head with that double jack, they trade off on that job every so often, and paybacks, we all know about paybacks. So the other complication they had here back in the 1890s is they were working by candlelight, so each miner was allowed 3 candles at the beginning of his shift, and so between the two of them, they'd have 6 candles to last the entire day. And to give you an idea what that's like, so if you can imagine trying to hit that piece of drill steel, whoops, I'm sorry.